Hi guys, it's Michelle from Cozy Egg, and this is episode 9. Today is Wednesday, October 7th, I believe, and I'm actually recording in the evening, which I don't normally do, so the light is, we'll see how it is, but I think I don't have as much light as I normally do because I normally have light coming in through the windows. But since it's evening and now that it's fall, less light. But I had the house to myself, so I just thought, why don't I try to record and get in an episode? So anyway, thanks for joining. Again, I'm Michelle from Cozy Egg, and you can find my blog at cozyeggg.cozyeggdesigns.com. You can actually just go to cozyeggdesigns.com and get to any of my blogs from there. But the Cozy Egg blog is my crafting blog, which is probably why you're all here. And then you can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Ravelry, on Periscope, in like all the places as Cozy Egg. So give me a shout, follow me, and I'm looking forward to getting to know new people. So if you are returning, thank you so much for tuning in and watching the podcast. If you are new, welcome, and I hope, thank you for checking me out, and I hope you come back. So let's get right into it. So it has been like forever since I recorded. You know, life just happens and things go on, and I just haven't made it to do my recording. So we've been pretty busy. Work actually for me has been, not good. But I'm trying to just roll with the punches. So anyway, that probably was a lot of implied something. Anyway, so work has been going on, and then, you know, October is always a super busy month for us. I'm not really sure what it is about October. Eric's birthday is this month, and we always go to the State Fair of Texas in October, and I don't know, things just happen in October for some reason. So it's been, you know, even though it's only the 7th, it's been a busy month so far. And so just kind of a quick recap of what I've been up to other than work is back in September, I actually intended to go to Stitches, Texas, which was here locally. And I went to the Fiberfest, the DFW Fiberfest earlier in the year. You may recall that. Had a great time. Got to see Diane from Suburban Stitcher and Stacy from Mustache Yarns, and you know, had a really good time, and I was really excited to be there. And so when I heard that Stitches Texas was happening, I was really excited to go. Really excited to get to see Diane again, and then also, you know, to check out all the fun things. And now that I've been knitting a little bit longer, I was really excited to go, but unfortunately circumstances intervened, and I was not able to make it. So cue crying. Not really, but I was sad, disappointed really that I didn't get to go. So maybe next time. And I'm just kind of looking down at my show notes, and I have a little, you know, sad face next to that. So the other thing, like I mentioned, you know, we normally go to the State Fair this time of year, And so we actually went last Thursday to the fair. I was actually taking the whole day off work and ended up only getting 3 hours off work, and then came home and worked some more. But anyway, the 3 hours were very enjoyable. And we went to the fair. We got there in time to see the Marine Corps band, which we both really enjoy. I actually posted a couple of videos of them playing on Instagram, so if you're interested, go check them out. They were only there for a few select days and times this time, and I think we missed them last year, so I was really anxious to go and get to see them play this time, so we did. And there's another band there that's a Celtic rock band called the Kildares that we always enjoy seeing them play as well. And so we got to see them, have some good food, and then the other thing that we like to do while we're there is go to the Creative Arts and Textiles building to see all of the fair entries, the needlework and quilting and all of that good stuff. So I love doing that. Love getting to see what people enter. A lot of the folks that enter are in one of my guilds, either the quilting guild or the needlework guilds. And so it's always fun to get to see their pieces. I'd really like to, maybe in the future, maybe next year, enter something. I think that would be really fun. So, and Eric actually talked about entering some of his photography. So I think that would be really fun if we did that next year. And the cats are up and awake, so we'll see how much trouble they cause. And then the other thing that I've been up to is this past weekend, I actually went to another one of the in-town sewing retreats, which, is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had actually, so this was the day after the Friday, the next day after going to the fair. I had actually requested to be off that whole Friday, worked until 5:30, and then went to the sewing retreat. So even though I was really frustrated about that, I made it there after work and got to see my friends and had a really, really good time. And I got to relax and decompress, which I really super needed. I just really needed some time to just not think about anything other than sewing my blocks together. So anyway, so I had that. Thank you. Appreciate the help. Anyway, he just stretched while he was standing on something, and just as he stretched, it just slid right off the table. So let me pick that up. Okay. Anyway, so I had a really good time at the sewing retreat. It was very enjoyable. I'm always a little tired after that weekend because it goes from like 10 in the morning until midnight, and then it takes me 30-40 minutes to get home. And then you're, up and heading out again the next morning to go sew. And I take full advantage of all the time that I have. So, of uninterrupted time especially, to be able to go and do that. So, anyway, had a great time. So, I wanted to talk about whips. No, I want to talk about finishes first. I'm all over the place. Okay, so finishes. Last time I think I mentioned that I was working on this little table topper quilt. It's a big square. I had quilted with my sewing machine the whole quilt. Did not like it. And so I ripped all of the machine quilting out from this center section, this big panel that's got the chocolates in it. And then I did some hand quilting with pearl cotton. And really the reason for this is I wanted to try the hand quilting with pearl cotton on something that was small enough that if I didn't like it, you know, I wasn't in too deep. So, which is kind of unusual for me to actually test the water first. But, so this is probably a little bit hard to see. Actually, maybe if I show it to you on the back, you can see it a little bit better. So, you can see I just quilted hearts in this big section. So you can see that, and they're all just kind of tumbled or tossed, maybe is the right word. So they face all different directions. But anyway, so I quilted that whole center section with hearts. I just left the machine quilting on this kind of piano key border because it was fine. I was tempted to pull it out, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to leave it because it was really just the center that was bothering me so much. And I'm sorry I'm shaking the camera as I'm futzing around on the table. So finished that. I was really pleased to get that done. And I enjoyed the process. I really enjoyed doing it. So the only difficulty that I had with doing the hand quilting on the pearl cotton was starting and stopping. So whenever I had to, you know, you basically like tie yourself a knot and then pull that knot through, you know, through your layer of fabric, layer of batting, but not totally through to the other side so that your knot is kind of buried in there. I did have a little bit of difficulty with that. Either my knot was not big enough and it would just slip right through, or it was too big and then I couldn't get it to go through the fabric. So I'm gonna have to work on that. But I really enjoyed it, and so I think that I will definitely be doing that again with the pearl cotton. So that was one finish, and then the other finish that I have, I'm almost a little embarrassed to show. So I'm just putting it out there. So way back when I first started quilting, which was like, you know, in 2000, so 15 years ago when I started quilting. I'd never sewn before, so quilting was like a whole new thing for me. That's kind of irrelevant, but anyway, so I got it in my head that I really wanted to do some sort of a quilt with cat fabrics, like novelty prints. So I found this fabulous book, and I actually meant to pull the book so that I could show that to you, show you the cover, but I'll just put it in the show notes. But so I had this book, and it had this great pattern in it that basically each of your blocks is like a cat face. So, you know, a block with little ears. And, you know, the author of the book says to, you know, that you should really, you know, even though there's tons of cute cat fabrics out there, you should probably do, you know, these quilts in non-cat fabrics because they're so busy and you kind of lose the design. And I was like, pshaw, I'm gonna do it in cat fabrics. So I spent a extravagant amount of time on eBay buying cat fabrics of all sorts. And I think I ended up with like 100 different cat fabrics or something crazy like that. And so anyway, I then proceeded to cut all of this fabric, cut my squares. I laid everything out so that I didn't have the same prints touching each other, the whole 9 yards. Put it in little plastic Ziploc bags labeled by row, and that was that. I never touched it again. And so, you know, over the past few months, I've been really wanting to work on getting some of these things finished that have been hanging around for a long time. So I finally got my partridges quilt finished earlier in the year, like in January. Got that finished. I've now finished this indulgence quilt, which is the Valentine's Day quilt. Finished that, and it has a label on it, so it's officially finished. And so then this was one of the next things that I picked up. So, and it's huge, so I can't show you the whole thing. But it is kitschily horrendous. That's even a phrase. So here, and I'm just going to show this to you. So you can see that these are the little ears. This is the cat face, and then the ears from the one, you know, below makes the bottom of the face on the one above. So some of them are much easier to see than others. So you can see this one pretty good, and then the one underneath it. And I just, this is just craziness with the cats and the cat fabric. Like, I have no excuse. That's all I can say. I have no excuse. But it's fun, and there was a lot of thought and effort that went into selecting these fabrics, and so it has some sentimental meaning to me, but I will not be taking it to Guild to show off. Just say that. I'm a little horrified I'm even sharing it here, but whatever. I don't have backing fabric for it. I was kind of waiting to see how big it was going to end up. I'm really kind of thinking that I would like to get some of the Lizzie House catnap fabric to put on the back of it. Kind of the old kitschy novelty print versus the modern fabulous Lizzie House print. I thought would be, maybe that would make it salvageable. I don't know. And I am planning on quilting this myself on my machine because I'm not going to pay somebody to quilt it. So anyway, and now that I have thrown 2 quilts down on the floor, now Tut is on the floor making a little nest. He's happy. Maybe that'll keep him where he needs to be. So those are my 2 finishes, and those are the only finishes that I have. Like I said, work has been kind of difficult, so I have not been doing a whole lot of crafting of any sort because I've been working at night. And oh, I spoke too soon. Now he's up on my stuff again. Anyway, so I've been working at night when I get home, so I haven't been doing anything else. And the past few weeks have been really kind of emotionally difficult too, so I just haven't had the energy or the inclination to do much of anything creatively. So anyway, those are my 2 finishes. And so whips. I wanted to show you, well, I'm just going to start with the quilting, with the knitting. So in my fun bag that I made, I'm still working on my Way-It shawl. You may recall that I was working on this as part of the Around Your Neck cowl that Suburban Stitcher was hosting. And I tried really, really, really hard to get it finished by the deadline of August 31st. And I was to the binding. So I'll just say that. I was at the binding. And it just wasn't going to happen. And I really got kind of discouraged because I didn't make the deadline. I didn't get my piece finished. And the other thing that I was really struggling with is the the bind off, which is a picot bind off, which obviously I've never done before. So I, figured out how to do it, worked on it. I wasn't really thrilled with the way it was looking. So I ripped it out, just ripped back and set everything aside. So I've now picked it back up again and I am redoing the picot bind off. I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm not going to have enough yarn left to do the picot bind off the whole way, even though I have more than what she tells you to have left weight wise in grams before you start the bind off. I have more than that. Just at the rate at which I'm taking up yarn, I don't think I'm going to have enough. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep going. So here it is. You've seen it in all its scrunched up glory. And so this is what I have bound off so far, is this. Now, here's my thing. Maybe blocking will fix this. It's supposed to have this ruffled edge. It's supposed to have this picot bind off. And if you get right down to it, I have these nice little picots. But because, I don't know. When I look at her model, when I look at other people's finished ones that they did the picot bind off, it does not look like this. This looks like that curly leaf lettuce or something. I mean, I am not thrilled with how this looks at all. And so part of me and the reason why I ripped it out and then tried it again was because part of me really felt like this is my very first shawl. I would really like to, I really want to do it the way it's charted. There's just something that I feel like not doing the picot bind off feels like a little bit of a defeat, which is silly maybe, but at the same time, I'm not loving it. And I think it really takes away from the simplicity and the line, the shape of, the shawl with all of this curly Q baloney going on. And, even if I stretch this out, I don't know, and I don't know how much binding would help it, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Maybe I should get it wet and try to block it a little and see what happens. If you have suggestions, I'm open to them because I don't really know what to do with this and I'm just sort of forging ahead towards the cliff. Anyway, that's my knitting. Stitching wise, I have not, like I said, I have not done a whole lot of stitching. Just, things have not been fab. So, I'll show you what I'm working on. So, this is in a project bag that you've never seen before, that I love very much, that my sweet friend Sylvia made for me, and I thought it was appropriate. So, it's like ravens and writing and all sorts of, sort of gothic-y, Halloween-y kind of stuff. And then on the inside, it has these cages, the bird cages with the ravens in them. So anyway, I just love it. So I had a really just crapola day on top of crapola weeks the other day, and so I decided, it was the weekend that I was supposed to go to Stitches, Texas. Anyway, so I worked on my cat quilt some in the afternoon, and then that night I decided I wanted to start something new. So I pulled out this piece that I've had kitted up for a little while, and let me see if I can find the photo. I'm so disorganized tonight. So this is Blackened Sky by the Primitive Needle, my sweet, sweet friend Lisa, who I miss terribly. And I always think of her this time of year. Yeah, so I love this piece so much. I got this from her when she released it, and I've been dying to stitch on it since then. I just didn't have the fabric, but I not too long ago got the fabric, and I'm really excited to start it. So, and the threads that it calls for primarily are these silks from the Pure palette, and I've never seen any other chart that calls for them. And I'm going to take them out of this so you can see them. So there's the label, the Pure palette, Baroque silk, and it looks like it's 15 yards, thepurepalette.com. I will link to them in the show notes. But they're gorgeous, gorgeous silks. And that was the reason that Lisa wanted to use them. I think she saw these at market one year and just fell in love with them. And so she wanted to design something using these. And so I've had this set of the silks since the design came out, really. So anyway, here's my little bitty start. And that color is so not accurate. This is like a fun, like kind of poison green, and the charcoal, and then I think this darker green, this kind of olivey darker green, is called Swamp Thing. This is on 40 count. I believe that this is Vintage Pear by Lakeside Linens, and I'm using those Pure palette silks, and they're just luscious to work with. I'm really happy with them, and I'm enjoying working on that. So that's my stitching whip that I'm working on. That was my new start. And then the other thing, I've got a couple other things I want to show you whip-wise, if I can get to get off of it. So, here, lay on that. Last time I went to the In-Town Sewing Retreat, I took one of my older quilt whips to work on, and it was a block of the month by Thimbleberries called Pansy Park, and this is a photo of the whole thing. It's, you know, very kind of signature Thimbleberry style, you know, very opposite end of the spectrum from my modern quilts and fabrics that I'm, you know, really into right now. But I had this already done, or already ordered and started. I had, so when I started working on it at the last In-Town retreat, I think I had 6 of these blocks done. So I only had like 1 more that I needed to do, or 2 more that I needed to do. I may have only had 5 done. So I finished those 2 blocks. These blocks are 12 inches. So they're big. And then I did all of these setting triangles. I did all of this pansy border, and got that all done. And so that was last time that I went. And now this previous time that I went last weekend, I took this quilt again. I really wanted to get it done. And honestly, if I'd been off work on Friday, I probably would have gotten it done. Just saying. So I got these 4 cornerstone blocks done. They're also 12 inches. I got all of these borders, this floral, this green, and then these little apple trees, and then this red border, that thin red border that's right there. I got 2 of the 4 sides on. So I have 2 more sides of the red border to put on, and then I have all this big green border to put on. So I'm super, super close with getting this quilt top finished. And this pattern is from, it says copyright 2002. So, and the finished quilt size is 92 by 112, so it's big. And obviously I cannot show you the whole thing because it is big, but I wanted to just kind of show you a little close-up of the fabrics because they really are so pretty. So this is that little pansy border. And then when you get down here, this is that apple tree border that has that sweet little picket fence. The trees are what sold me on this. That's why I ordered it. And I don't even know where I ordered it from. But it's such a pretty piece. It's, you know, very autumn, even though it's pansies, you know, it's really very autumn to me. Just the colors, those dark greens and burgundies, and anyway, so I'm really pleased with it. I'm so glad that it is finally getting super close to being done, and I can't wait to have it finished. So that's the other whip that I have and for quilting. And then I just I've been meaning to talk about this a couple of times now, and I just haven't. So in the interest of, you know, getting things done, I have a number of ornaments, stitched ornaments that have been sitting around unfinished for, I don't know, a couple of years now, maybe. And so they're stitched, they are laced on cardboard with some batting. I have the backing done, also laced, ready to go. This one is, I think, Angel of the Tulips, and I just love this one. I made this, I stitched this for our guild exchange a couple of years ago, and then I went back and stitched it for myself because I loved it so much. So I have that one, and then this one is a little shepherd's bush piece that was from the Just Cross Stitch ornament issue. Who knows what year? I'll link it in the show notes. But it's a sweet little guy with his little sheep, his little reindeer sheep. And I have it stretched and ready to go. Have my backing already done. My cat is trying to eat my pattern. And then, so I have those 2 ornaments that are ready to go. And then I have my name tags for Guild. Now, keep in mind, I was president of the Tudor Rose Guild for 2 years. And here's my name tag. So it's not finished. So I stitched this, I don't know how long ago, years ago at this point. I have this really pretty backing fabric that I put on there. So this is all ready to go. And then I'm gonna cover up my name because it's a secret. But then this is my name tag for EGA. This is the Greater Dallas chapter of EGA. And it has this fun little, this is done with ribbon. It's got a blue bonnet on here that you do these little like French knots out of ribbon. And I just love that. And then I have a pin that goes here that is somewhere. Here it is. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little pin that'll go on there also. So anyway, so I have these done. Oh, and here's the backing for that one. So I have these done, except for the cording. And cording is always an issue for me. You know, I have a hard time making it. I'm always struggling to make it. It's never tight enough, or it's too tight, or whatever. I don't have one of those little drill things, you know, so I struggle trying to put cording on. And so usually if I'm going to finish an ornament for an exchange or something, I do a finishing that doesn't require cording. So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. So, I made some cording. So this is what I wanted to share with you. So, most of the instructions to make cording, they have you like attach one end, you know, to something that's not going to move. And then you twist, either with a cording drill or something. And for some reason, I've had a really hard time with that. So I found this tutorial, and I believe it's from a blog called Pinwheel Ponders, but I'm going to link to that in the show notes. And the way that she has you do it is you basically attach, you know, one end to a pencil or a stick or something along those lines. You stand on it, and then you can keep your tension really good and tight while you twirl. And for some reason that worked fantastic for me. Whereas doing it straight out like this and trying to keep that tension straight does not work for me. So anyway, showing you what I'm talking about. So the cording is going to go around here, and I'll make a little, you know, hanger. But it's basically going to go right here. It gets sewn on so that it hides that gap between your two pieces of cardboard and batting. So it hides that gap, and it just makes a pretty little, you know, finished edge. So, and then I made a little tassel. Hopefully I can make this look a little prettier, but I did actually make a tassel too. So I have my cording made, so I just need to sew it on and get these suckers finished. And my name tags, not only do I need to do the cording and everything, but I also needed a lanyard, you know, to hang those around my neck, or to wear them around my neck. And so I went and got some beads, and so I got these two colors of blue Swarovski crystals from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something, and got those for my EGA one, so I think that will be pretty. And then for the Tudor Rose one, I have some black crystals that I bought forever ago, and then I got these red ones to go with it. So I think that'll be pretty as a lanyard. So I have everything that I need now. I have my cording done. I have my my beads for my lanyards. I have my stuff all put on, my cardboard. All of that's ready to go. I even have my sewing thread in here so that I can sew these suckers up, and my needles to do it. So no excuse, this needs to get done and finished. And so part of the reason I wanted to share that with you is because one, if you have problems cording, you might try it this other way, because that made a big difference to me. And also because I'm going to talk about in a minute, but I have some plans for the end of the year, and this plays into that. So that's it for my WIPs. I haven't really been working on much, like I said. So what stash enhancement, none. I didn't go to Stitches, Texas. I haven't bought anything. I've been on my very good behavior. So, no stash enhancement. And currently reading, I am back to reading Kushiel's Dart. I'm, about halfway through. I am enjoying it. This is just a very intense book. It is not light reading. So, but I'm enjoying it in the little bits of time that I get to read. So, and I do find that if I read on my tablet, I seem to pick it up more often, because I can read a couple pages here and there and wherever. With my books, I tend not to carry them around with me anymore. I used to always have a book in my purse, just in case. And I just don't find myself doing that anymore. So this book, I really only read it on the weekends when I'm having coffee in the morning or something. So that doesn't get much reading done. So no stash enhancement. Talked about currently reading. So then, like I said, one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about is it's now October, last quarter, and what do I want to get done before the end of the year? So here's my thought. I think I've talked about before that my Tutor Rose Guild does a magic program, and magic stands for my annual good intentions contract. And so each year you put down the things that you intend to finish that year, and then in January of the next year we share what we finished, what was on our list, if we got everything done, if we didn't, etc. And so this year, I had 3 things on my list. And one of them was And They Send. So obviously that's done. Go me. And so that's one thing that's off my list. Now, granted, it's been on my magic list for like 5 years now, but whatever. The other 2 things on my list are His Eye is on the Sparrow. That was my New Year's Day start, and so I really wanted to get it done this year. Obviously, I've not kept up with it with the Stitch Along on Facebook, in the Facebook group, just like I didn't, keep up with Snooty Parrots, but neither here nor there. So I would really like to get Sparrow done this year. It is probably an impossible task at this point, because I do not have a ton of time to stitch, and it is what it is. But that's going to kind of be my focus project through the end of the year. And then the other thing that I have on my list is I put on there 6 ornaments. And part of the reason that I put 6 ornaments on there was mainly because of this business. I wanted these, there's only 2 in there, but I wanted them done. I wanted them finished. And I have several others that are in some state of being in progress. Some of them are kitted up, some of them I've started, some of them are almost done, so on and so forth. So I would really like to focus on those as well. And every year I do the my ornament exchange with Sylvia, so I need to get something stitched for her. I need to pick something and get that stitched. And then I do the guild exchanges as well. So that's 3 more ornaments right there if I choose to do the exchange in both guilds. So 3 more ornaments right there. I have 2 here that just need to be finished, and then at least a couple more that I want finished, stitched. So that way I have kind of a big piece that I'm working on, and then a small kind of take along piece that I can stitch on and stitch on ornaments. So that's my plan stitching wise. Quilting, I really want to get my Pansy Park done, get that quilt top finished, and I'm so close to getting it done that I'm good with that. I think that would be a really good thing to just focus on, is to get that finished. I would like to maybe get started on the hand quilting on my big quilt that I have. That I want to do that on with the pearl cotton. I'd really like to get started on that. So obviously it's not going to get all quilted, but I'd like to get started on it. And then, so that's kind of it for quilting. And then the other thing that I realized today is I went out and I looked at my Goodreads list, and you know, at the beginning of the year I put for my reading challenge that I wanted to read 25 books this year. And so far I have read 6. Technically 7, because one was a reread. But Goodreads doesn't count it that way. You know, if it's a reread, it counts it as the first time you read it. So anyway, so I have like 19 books to go by the end of the year. I don't think it's going to happen. But I'd really like to try to focus on reading more. And while I don't think I'm going to get through 19 books between now and the end of the year, I went through my Goodreads list on my to be read shelf, and I bumped a bunch of things up to the top that I have been saying for a while. I really want to read this. I really want to read this. So that's what I did. And I want to finish Kushiel's Dart, and then I think I'd like to get started on some of those other books that are kind of high up on my to be read pile. So that's really what I want to work on for the end of the year. Sparrow ornaments, getting this pansy part quilt done, maybe starting the quilting on my other quilt, and doing some reading. And oh, I should probably add on there that I really want to finish my Way at Shawl. So whatever has to happen there, I'd really like to get that done. That would be good. So if you have any tips on that, I'd sure appreciate it, because I don't really know what to do. Anyway, okay, so I think that's all that I have. Anyway, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming to visit me, and one of these days I'll get on a regular schedule and not have to talk for 50 minutes because I have so much to say. Not that that's bad, but you know. So anyway, thanks for coming to visit, and I'm Michelle from Cozy Egg, and you can find my blog at cozyeggg.cozyeggdesigns.com, or just go to cozyeggdesigns.com directly and you can get to any of my blogs from there. You can find me on all the places, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, Ravelry, etc. as Cozy Egg. So you can't miss me. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fabulous start to your October, and I'm really kind of glad that it's fall. You know, I mean, our summer wasn't bad, but I'm really kind of glad it was fall. But anyway, so thanks for joining. I will see you next time, and take care. Thanks.